Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. Today we're going to talk about Chanel Beauty Boutiques. And I have a little bit of beef to share with you with them because constructive criticism with love and respect, yada yada, right? There's a couple of things I want to talk to you about, and I want to hear your opinions, like constructive conversation. Maybe you have some ideas how to make things better. Let's get to it. But first, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon. Superdacob all spelled together there as well for extra perks. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream several times a week on my main Superdacob channel. Come join me there for the convos and the live chats. And everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. It's all alleged and just my opinion. So, I've been a Chanel client for many decades, okay? From the time when they were not even contemplating beauty boutiques, standalone beauty boutiques, let alone separating themselves from, you know, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom, whatever, Neiman Marcus, you know, having their own stand somewhere. And then moving into 2014, when 2014/15, when they started opening standalone Chanel beauty boutiques. And the first one was in Paris, and I was there to visit it. Really tiny one off of Rue Cambon and Saint-Honoré. Tiny little boutique. I still have the original tag that I bought jersey extrait that day. My first visit to a first ever Chanel beauty boutique was, my first purchase was the newly launched jersey, Les Exclusives extrait, the parfum. And I got a cute little miniature bottle of gardenia with it and something else, and the little plexiglass tag that they attached to the bag that says Chanel Rue Cambon with the address. Really cool. I still have it to this day in my archives. And they were mentioning back then that they were going to expand their exclusives range, makeup, skincare, to have special pieces that are just available in the beauty boutiques. But it would be like one special piece. Sometimes it would be a special lipstick shade or a special nail polish. But then, you know, as these boutiques started opening more and more worldwide, we realized what the end game of Chanel was, allegedly. And the end game was to become more and more independent in terms of sales, not depending by the middleman anymore. In other terms, the end game, in my opinion, is they're trying to have less and less and less distribution through third parties into authorized retailers, authorized licensed retailers that also sell Chanel, to limiting it more and more and becoming more self-sustained and independent. Meaning, in other words, you want to buy Chanel? You can only buy it if you go directly to Chanel. Just like with their clothes, with their apparel. That was their end game. There were a couple of concessions still in Europe that would sell Chanel as kind of like franchises. They were all shut down a couple of years ago. You can only buy Chanel clothes and Chanel bags at Chanel. And there are some exceptions like Neiman Marcus, or, you know, they might have like this weird connection where Chanel hires their own people, and they have like shoe department, bag department, but that department is within either Neiman Marcus or some other major luxury department store. But even those are going to shut down, I have a feeling. But with beauty boutiques, that's a different story. And in fact, we are here on my perfume channel, so the beauty boutique sells the perfumes. Very interesting to note that from 2014 till today, more and more and more of these Chanel beauty boutiques open up. The beauty boutiques specialize in skincare, makeup, and perfumes, including eyewear. They've also added in recent years small leather goods that are exclusive to the beauty boutiques. In other words, small leather goods that are meant for beauty, like leather beauty cases, beauty pouches, makeup pouches, little tiny vanity cases in the shape of 100 milliliter perfume flasks, perfume bottles, with a chain around them so that you put your perfume bottle in it to carry them. These novelty, in other words, because novelty novelty items were made as exclusive for the beauty boutiques. Still very expensive. Prices go up for those leather goods as well as prices go up for Chanel leather goods in the Chanel fashion stores. But as you can see, Chanel started at a certain point pushing more and more product into the beauty boutiques. In the beginning, the first time I went to the first beauty boutique, right, at Rue Saint-Honoré, all they had was beauty, a bit of skincare, and perfumes. The perfumes, in the beginning, were very much focused in this tiny space on emphasizing what is best. And those would be the extraits, the les exclusives, parfums, the 15 milliliter parfums, together with, back then they still had Coco Noir parfum, Allure Sensuelle parfum, which is discontinued now, Chanel No. 5, Chanel No. 19 parfum, Allure parfum. They were all together with the les exclusives, and they had a special place, positioned, visible there. It seemed as if 1/3 or almost half of that tiny little room that was the first beauty boutique was dedicated to perfumes. And the sales associate was also very versed in the fragrances. And I thought this could be potentially really good. They can develop this further. And in the future, oh my gosh, when these beauty boutiques really are successful, we're going to have these amazing perfume adventure spaces, niche rooms built inside of these boutiques in the future. Well, that was not the case because, and this is the problem that I'm having since quite a few years, and I travel a lot, you guys. I'm all over the world, okay? And every time I go to a place, a city that does have 1 or 2 Chanel beauty boutiques, I will visit them because I love Chanel. But every single time, without a fault, every single time, the sales associates are super busy. The sales associates are hyper-focused on selling makeup. I love Chanel makeup. I am actually wearing a full mug of Chanel makeup today. Okay, almost all Chanel. Contouring was not Chanel. Lip is mixed Chanel and MAC, but the rest is Chanel. Oh, foundation is Estée Lauder, but the rest is Chanel. So there you go. And they, because they launch, because do you remember just last year they launched the color codes, with all their new nail polish formulations, and then the double mirrors were all launched in the same colors as the nail polishes, and we're going to get new color code mirrors allegedly this year as well. Every couple of months, new makeup comes out, new skincare comes out, and they're really busy selling it. And of course, for like $40, you get a Chanel mascara. And it's a quick buy, and mascara. A lot of people can buy it. It's not, you don't need to work your ass off to sell a mascara. It's very simple. You like it or you don't like it. These COCO bombs, the Balm Essentiels, very simple explanation to highlight a little bit, to put on the lips a little bit. You can put it on the eyes as well. Very easy, done. You like it, gorgeous. Sell the product. It moves. It moves quickly. Skincare. Maybe a little bit less quickly because the person has to try it on their skin. Do they have an allergic reaction or not? A lot. Most of Chanel skin products have perfumes in them, so not everybody can handle that. But it's the makeup that moves really quickly, and the sales associates are very quick and versed in their makeup. Upcoming launches of makeup, skincare as well. They're always briefed on what active ingredients the skincare has. Like, I've never had issues with a sales associate at Chanel not knowing about their skincare or makeup. But, sad to say, I can say 99% of the time, not 100%, 99% of the time, these sales associates, as lovely as they are, don't get me wrong, I'm not throwing shade at these people. They are overworked, they are overstressed, and they have a lot to do, and they have their quotas to meet. I'm not here saying, oh, they're bad sales associates. No. I've only really, for the most part, over 90% of the sales associates I've worked with at Chanel have been lovely people. Supportive, patient, understanding, like really, really awesome. Awesome. But they're not very versed in perfumes. So when a new fragrance like Comate, for example, comes out, okay, you need to really dedicate the time to explain to your customers what it is, what it means, not just the story behind it, but the ingredients, the accords, how it works on the skin, how it develops. Try it on the skin. You can't just spritz it on and say, love it, smells good, let me buy. No, wait. You have to go through all the notes. It's like a music. It's like a composition of, it's a song accord. So you have to listen to the track several times before you really get into it. You have to wait at least 40 minutes until on your skin you hit the dry down. It's a process, and it means that it involves time. And a lot of these sales associates, that's why I'm telling you guys, they are wonderful people. And I've had most lovely time, always really, at Chanel Beauty Boutiques. But they don't have the patience or the time to really dedicate to these perfumes. And the perfumes need the time. Another thing, the first ever beauty boutique that I saw at Rue Saint-Honoré in Paris, had a special designated area for the extraits. I haven't seen a special designated area for the extraits in years in Chanel Beauty Boutiques anymore. Matter of fact, the extraits are the 15 milliliter pure perfumes, the concentrates. They are hidden. You don't even see the testers out in most places, and the perfumes are hidden in cupboards, right? So you have to either know what you're looking for. You go to the sales associate and you say, hey, I love 1932 Extrait 15 mil splash. Do you have it? And then they're going to be like, oh yeah, I got you. It's here. And they take out a box and you purchase it. You know how many times I have entered Chanel Beauty Boutiques and I ask for the Extrait of one of the Les Exclusives splash 15 mil bottles? They have no clue what it is. You know, I'm like, oh, do you have Gardenia Extrait? They're like, oh yeah, Gardenia. So you want the 200 mil, 75 mil, which is like this, you know, the eau de parfums. I'm like, no. I want the parfum. They're like, yeah, this is the perfume. I'm like, no, I want the splash 15 mil bottle in the glass with the stopper, not the spray. And then they like think. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah. Let me check if we have some. And this is a problem, Chanel. And I'm giving you constructive criticism here. I'm just telling you, I believe this is one of the reasons why Chanel ultimately is discontinuing the Les Exclusives parfums, the 15 mil splash bottles. They're discontinuing them. Oh, they weren't selling that well, apparently. You think they were not selling that well? Why do you think that is, Chanel? Because your sales associates are so busy selling quickly the makeup. You know, I observe, you know, when I go to Chanel, it's my Disneyland. I spend time there. I know I might be annoying to the sales associates, but I also drop a lot of money there. So it's not like I go there and I spend nothing and I leave empty. No. They get their bonus, you know what I mean? Like I buy, but I spend my time because I take my time to buy luxury that they overcharge you for anyway, you know, $500 for this. And you expect me to just walk in, say I want that and leave in 5 seconds? No. Included in these $500 that I'm spending for this overpriced perfume is also the time that I'm going to spend in that store to test this perfume. Take my good time to see how it develops on the skin. As that happens and 1 to 2 hours pass by, yes, if they are nice to you, they offer you a drink, you know, water or something else, and you observe other clients coming in and out. 90% of the clients that came in while I was trying this perfume on, they just bought one mascara, one nail polish, one lipstick. Somebody had to repurchase a foundation. Somebody, again, lipstick, mascara, foundation, nail polish, lipstick. You know, nobody bought a perfume while I was there. Nobody really asked for skincare either. And the sales associates were all busy showing, you know, foundation color swatches, you know, lippy swatches, mascara swatches, you know, it just went on and on and on. And, but nobody was really dedicated to the perfume. My sales associate, as lovely as they are, they're not really informed about the perfume either. They know that I know everything I need to know about perfumes, so they just let me be. But What I'm saying here, Chanel, is sometimes you treat your customers with a certain type of snobbery as a brand, not as a sales associate, in terms of like, oh, whatever, our products sell themselves. You know, there's that attitude a little bit from Chanel that I'm getting lately with their insane price increases that have no really, logic or reason other than we can because we're Chanel and you're going to keep spending no matter how much we make them cost. That's the feeling Chanel is giving me. Not a good look. Not luxury, it's vulgar, actually. But then on top of that, I have the feeling that Chanel started treating their own products with the same snobbery. What am I saying here? What I mean is, it's almost as if Chanel says to its own products, you better sell yourself. If you, like a mean stepmother, mommy dearest, that type of vibe. If you don't sell yourself, you're going to get the chopper. And that's exactly what happened to the extraits. Chanel was like, churning them out, thinking that the client is going to rush in and buy them no matter what. But most clients don't know they exist. If the sales associate doesn't take the time to actually inform most of the clients that there is such a thing as a 15 milliliter extrait of beige, Coromandel, Cuir de Russie, Bois des Îles, Gardenia, Sycamore, 1932. Not all of them, but these, the ones that I mentioned, those exist, Jersey, those exist as extraits. If the sales associate doesn't inform most of their clients that the extraits exist, how can the clients even know to want to purchase them? And yet, most of these beauty boutiques by Chanel that I've been to lately do not have a designated area where the extraits are exposed, exhibited, and showcased to let people discover them. Whether because they're little bottles and they're scared that the people are going to steal the testers, or just because they don't have the space for it, what we've seen since many years now in the beauty boutiques, for me personally, it's been focused on makeup, skincare. And they have a big wall with eyewear because they want to sell their sunglasses as well. And then here and there, they have those small leather goods. But perfumes, nothing. Perfumes, it's like, if you know what you want, you're going to walk in and buy it and c'est la vie. Like usually people walk in and say, I need to refresh my Chanel, Coco Mademoiselle, Chanel No. 5, and Gabrielle. Like those are the three female ones. Chance, the flankers, they sell very well. So people walk in, they know they want Chance au Tendre, or now the Les Zouz. The Les Zouz also sell quite well because the price is still relatively affordable as compared to the Les Exclusives. So people might walk in and say, I want Paris, Paris, I want Paris Deauville, and they're there. But for the Les Exclusives, you're charging a lot of money for those Les Exclusives, Chanel. So you need to also convince your client that they are worth the money. How do you convince a client that this perfume is worth $500 plus tax if you expect the perfume to sell itself? Yeah, it smells great, but there's a ton of other perfumes that smell better and are much cheaper. So what are you giving me that makes me feel like, oh, this is a special occasion? Well, and here's my thoughts. What I would recommend to Chanel would be to open up separate boutiques. Beauty boutiques for makeup, skincare, separate boutiques just for perfumes. Because you're playing, one of the reasons why Chanel upped their prices so aggressively in these past years with the Les Exclusives in particular was because of the niche brands having insane prices. And Chanel had to because don't forget when these were first launched in 2007, 2006/2007 as eau de toilettes. Back then they were eau de toilettes. They were like $185 a bottle. Okay, we've come a long way from $185 a bottle to $500 a bottle. Yes, this is eau de parfum, not eau de toilette. But in 2016, when they switched from eau de toilette to eau de parfum, these the perfumes were still around $280 to $300 a big bottle. In 2016, now they're $500, and this dramatic upping the price in these last 3 years is not just due to the pandemic and all the brands are upping their prices, but it's also due to the fact that Chanel wants to stay on par with the pricing of a lot of niche brands that are so aggressive in their pricing. I mean, Tom Ford costs more than Chanel, just FYI. You know, Chanel isn't the most expensive crazy price out there. Guerlain, with their L'Art de la Matière, they also keep upping the prices. Prices have become insane as well. So it's kind of like they're all running after each other to try to not be less expensive than, to not tarnish their look. So I do believe that one of the reasons why Chanel is exponentially raising the cost of the Les Exclusives, but not exponentially raising the cost of their other perfume offerings, is because this line, they wanted to compete price-wise with the niche prices. So, just my opinion. But okay, you're pushing the concept of making these costs more because you want to compete on the market with other price categories of other brands, then deliver something to the customer that makes the customer really want to purchase this. You need to deliver a bigger experience. You need a boutique that is designated only to perfume, where the sales associates are focused on perfume. Because the sales associates I've encountered in the regular beauty boutiques, they're focused on makeup and skincare. That's where the quick money's at. And they're focused on that, and they're good at that. Usually every beauty boutique has a designated sales associate that is more responsible for perfumes, meaning that person is more responsible for restocking, keeping in order the perfumes. There's also another person responsible for eyewear, a person that is responsible for restocking the eyewear that sells out or thinking about what to order from the upcoming collections. But the person responsible for the perfumes isn't necessarily versed in the field of Chanel perfumes. And also, don't forget, just because a person is working at Chanel doesn't mean that they like their perfumes, doesn't mean that they like to wear their perfumes. So that's another thing you have to take into consideration. You need to really hire people that like your product, which brings me to another problem that I feel Chanel has, and not just Chanel, but other brands as well. And this is really just my opinion, but I've had a lot of people write me in, sending me messages, emails saying, Dacob, I tried to apply for a job at Chanel. I've been a fan for many, many years, love their products, and I've worked in luxury already. I've worked in the beauty department, and I passed the first round of interviews. And then on the second round of interviews, some don't even pass the first round of interviews. They would write me, and then they just didn't call me back. I just didn't get a call back. I didn't get the job. But then like 2 weeks later, they get the job at Dior or Yves Saint Laurent Beauty. And I saw a pattern forming. And then I started interviewing, talking to people at Chanel beauty boutiques, asking them about Chanel, how did they love Chanel? And I've realized one thing. Call me crazy, but I have a sneaky suspicion that their HR is built in a way to only ultimately give the job to people who are not fans of the brand. And I've noticed this pattern repeating. People who are in love with Chanel, who are maybe also clients of Chanel, don't get the job. It's like Chanel doesn't want you to work for them, allegedly. I'm just speculating here, okay? Don't come for me for having a brain and speculating, okay? They're thinking, well, if you like the brand so much, it's going to be difficult to work with you. You're going to want to purchase the stuff for yourself. You're going to want to use the employee reductions. You're going to want all the freebies. You're going to be obsessed with the brand in a way that's not healthy for us as a company, because we want you to be detached, cool, cold, and professional, and follow the guidelines. And their guidelines are very stingy, just FYI. And you can see their guidelines easily by when you order online their perfumes. Also, if you order skincare, makeup, or perfumes, you get 2 little samples. You get to choose the 2 samples, and it's order something from Dior online. They wash you with samples. You get the most beautiful samples, and you get a ton of them, and they're very, very giving. Dior is very giving with their luxury samples as well. The bigger, every time I order from Dior, from their Collection Privee fragrance range, they give me online Okay, so you don't even have to have a nice rapport and relationship with a sales associate. No, it's online. Just they're online. Dior gives a bunch of stuff. They're like, oh, here's a little beauty case we're going to send with the perfume. And because you're ordering a Collection Privee fragrance, we're going to give you 2 samples of a Collection Privee spray. You get to choose which one you want. And we're going to give you an exclusive, the miniature bottle as well for free. While Chanel is like, you're going to get a little Munchkin cream and a little tiny spritz. Like, girl, I mean, it is what it is. But the same in the boutiques. They also brief their sales associates, hey, with a purchase, you give out 2 samples, period. You got to really work the sales associate to get a little something extra rather than just 2 samples. Very stingy brand. Chanel, of all the luxury brands I've ever shopped from, they are the most stingy. Until you get to know the sales associates, and really it takes time to develop a relationship. And if they know what you're really into, if they start trusting you that you're not going to resell that shit on the secondhand market, then they will give you more. But they're also briefed, the higher ups don't want to see Chanel freebies on eBay. For them, that tarnishes the brand. So if you are a fan of the brand, chances are, and if they sniff that out, and they are like dogs, HR is like dogs. They're going to smell it on you. Like a dog smells fear. They're going to smell it on you if you're a fan of the brand, and you're not going to get the job. The sales associates that I've been working with at Chanel, they were never fans of the brand. Some were headhunted while they were working at other luxury beauty brands, and they were just doing a really good job. And then, Chanel headhunted them and took them over to them. This is something very interesting to note. So, and that's a problem. Why is it a problem for the perfume range? Because you have to be a fan of these perfumes, of the specific type of DNA of Chanel fragrances in order to really sell them. And especially to sell the special ones, the Les Exclusives fragrances and the Extraits, because they require a level of knowledge and a level of passion that not any regular sales associate of the beauty boutique that is more focused on selling makeup can deliver. And I'm not saying you can't be specialized in makeup, skincare, and perfumes. Of course you can, but you really have to be a fan of the brand in order to deliver knowledge in all sectors. And like I said before, I don't think